are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
To all of you Foxborough faithful, and thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of our New England Patriots coverage, but most importantly, your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots, free and available on all platforms, free and available on YouTube as well. So smash that subscribe button, download, subscribe to, and follow the Locked On Patriots podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, today's episode of Locked On Patriots brought to you by our good friends at BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, more odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Folks, the 2022 NFL Draft is now in the books. The Patriots have added 17 players to the Foxborough fold, 10 of which came by the draft, 7 of them undrafted rookie free agents. We know you love your we love your undrafted rookie free agents. Been a long weekend, folks. Bear with me. We will be breaking those down later this week, but here today to grade the ultimate muse the draft, the actual draft haul for your New England Patriots is my Don here on Locked On Patriots. My godfather, the man I pledge eternal loyalty to. He is a columnist extraordinaire for E2Gsports.com, not just for your New England Patriots, but also provides, in my opinion, the best damn Red Sox coverage in the nation. The Counter Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy, joins me today. Thank you for coming to me in friendship. Thank you for joining me today, Don Murphy.
Oh, my pleasure, bud. My pleasure. It was nice of you to give me a little bit of time to calm down. And look at this, but I did get one pick right. It just didn't happen in the round that I thought it was going to happen.
Well, you find yourself in familiar territory and really familiar company when it comes to the New England Patriots. A lot of fans not happy with the Patriots draft haul. Steve Balistrieri joined me over the weekend here on Locked On. We talked a little bit about the Patriots' #1 pick, talked a little bit about their day 2 haul. We're going to get into all of it here today for you, Pats fans. Thank you for joining us, and I always thank Murph for lending his wisdom and counsel each and every week here on Locked On Patriots. Murph, we've been breaking down the draft for a while now. We've been musing it every Monday here on Locked On Patriots. It's still hashtag Locked On Murph Monday, folks. That's not going away anytime soon. If I have my way about it, this will continue to be Locked On Murph Monday for as long as this man and I decide to have the microphone. And bottom line, bud, we hyped up Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean quite a bit.
Right.
He was my pick in the ultimate mock draft. I did not have the same fortune this year that I did last year. I correctly picked Mac Jones at number 15 this year, not so much. Nakobe is someone that I know we still have a tremendous amount of respect for. Love the game, love the player, going to be a dynamic pro. He slipped to the 3rd round, and there are some medical concerns that were responsible for that. Murph, were you surprised by how far Nakobe fell in this draft? And do you think that other teams, including the New England Patriots, made a mistake by passing on him?
I was shocked. I wasn't surprised. I was shocked. I was knocked off my seat when the first round ended and Nakobe Dean had not been taken. I was drinking with 2 hands after the second round and seeing that he had not been taken. I wanted to know what else was going on. I beat the bushes. I talked to everybody that I know in this business as to why this happened. And it came down to this. He didn't work out. He didn't work out before. He didn't work out at the combine. He did not work out at the pro day. It was let slip that, his pec had serious issues that we all knew about. He had issues with his pec. He chose not to get surgery, and it scared a lot of people off, and wrongfully.
Yeah, I think it did scare a lot of people off. Credit to the Philadelphia Eagles, right, albeit they did pass on him for a couple of rounds, but getting him in the 3rd round, I think, is tremendous value. And again, the sideline-to-sideline speed, the ability to understand the playbook, which is such an underrated part of a rookie coming in. You hear the narrative from coaches all the time. Rookies that come in, highly touted rookies, have a tendency to think they know what's going on, but they really don't know the pro game yet. They're raw. Their talent needs to be cultivated.
Yep.
Nakobe was one of those very few guys that I think comes in NFL ready because of his understanding of multiple offensive and defensive compilations. You look at what these guys are able to do, and he's able to really find that niche of being able to defend and also be able to protect. And I think those are two things that are so rare in a rookie. Philadelphia, in my opinion, got a good one. So unfortunately, Murph, we were not correct in our musings with Nakobe Dean coming to the New England Patriots. The good news is we don't have to face him all that often here in New England. He will be off in Philadelphia, so he'll be in the NFC, barring a meeting in the Super Bowl or just the quadrennial, I think is the best way to put it, meetings with the NFC East, maybe a little bit in the preseason. Not going to have to see too much of Nakobe Dean. He won't haunt the New England Patriots. But Murph, that being said, I'm sorry.
At one point, I was just like, not Buffalo, please, not Buffalo.
Yeah, I was a little worried. I was a little worried with Buffalo on the clock a couple of times, and knowing their penchant for really wanting to stick it to the Patriots. But the Jets laid off of him, the Buffalo Bills laid off of him. Each of one of them had pretty good drafts. But Murph, the New England Patriots draft is being met with a lot of different kind of reaction.
Right.
This is really, I think, something that is, I don't want to say surprising considering the haul that they were able to bring in, but also I think maybe a little bit of impatience with this draft and with seeing how this is all going to shake out. Obviously, it all started on Thursday night with the Patriots trading down in the first round. It looked like they were exactly, and we did predict that. And it looked like things were aligning for the Patriots to select a top flight corner, maybe Nakobe Dean or a top flight linebacker. There were still a couple of guys on the board at that point. Quay Walker and Devin Lloyd, I believe, were already gone by the time the Patriots made their pick. But at the same time, everything was kind of rounding into place for the Patriots to get a little bit more value out of that number 29 pick.
Yep.
Cole Strange is the guy. He becomes their offensive lineman. Definitely fills a need, no question about it. And to Patriots fans' credit, I don't see a lot of people really unhappy with the player. I think a lot of people look at this and say, yeah, great guy, tremendous run blocker, real quickness to generate, that protection on the power runs. He looks like the type of New England Patriot that fans are going to immediately love. But they're looking at this as saying, you could have had him in the second. You could have maybe even had him in the third.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't a guy that you needed to spend a first-round pick on. Murph, in your opinion, is that a fair and accurate assessment? Or if Cole Strange comes out and is the offensive lineman that everybody thinks he can be, is all forgiven in New England Patriots land?
No, all is not forgiven. We all looked at this draft as something to akin that the Patriots could do some serious damage with playmakers and address this need later. They've done it time and time again. And I honestly, if you look back at who went after him before, even going back to 21, they could have had McDuffie at 21. They could have had Quay Walker, Kyer Elam, Tyler Smith was went off the board, Linderbaum, all people that would have come in here and made an immediate impact on this roster. Right now, I don't think Cole Strange is pushing anybody down the depth chart. I really don't. And there were players that could have been had in this draft that certainly would have done that. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I don't see that happening with anybody that the Patriots took on over the entire weekend. They did not immediately upgrade the starting lineup on this team, and it could have happened. Now, the other side of that is last year, everybody screamed, moaned, and whined. If you loved Mac Jones so much, why didn't you trade up to get him? And well, Bill saw somebody that he liked, that he thinks is going to come in here and be a starter for the next 10 years, maybe not right out of the gate, but for the next, at least 5 years, because that's how much control you have over a first round draft pick,
Mm-hmm.
is going to come in here and contribute and be a solid guy, a guy that you're not going to have to worry about sending out there every single Sunday.
Yeah, without question. Good opportunity for you to kind of lend your wisdom and counsel there as well, and also your grade, which we'll get on in just a moment. But Strange is definitely, I think, a player that is going to take a little bit of time to develop, but I also think that the Patriots look at him as filling an immediate need as
Right.
well. I think he will be their starting left guard when the season begins, and I think they've invested the capital in him. I think they like what they see in him. We've already heard that the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan graded him pretty high as well. Now, that could be something as simple as the Shanahan family maybe doing Bill a solid, considering what the Patriots, had to go through with Sean McVay and the whole Rams fiasco, and then reportedly laughing at the pick and then kind of walking it back a little.
Oh,
You know what?
see.
That's all smoke-filled coffee house stuff. I'm not
Right.
going to get into that. That's their business, and that really has nothing to do with on the field. But when you look at Mac Jones and you look at his development and where he struggled last year, Murph, primarily he struggled when opposing defenses like the Buffalo Bills were
True.
able to confuse him, deploying those strategically placed blitzes from the second and the third levels of the defense. That is up to the wings. That's up to the end of the offensive line to be able to recognize that and stop it immediately. Trent Brown having the injury that he had last year, I think, hurt them. Isaiah Wynn did a better job than people are going to give him credit for because of some of the bad beats he got, but he held up pretty well. You need a solid interior as well
You
for
do.
that. There's no question about it. And with Owenu moving over to the right guard position, you now have maybe Cole Strange at the left. This is going to be interesting. David Andrews is going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders to hold this all together. So ultimately, I give this pick a B. I know people are probably going to roll their eyes, but I'm not in love with it in terms of the value because I think there were dynamic talent that was left on the board. But at the same time, you got to give the Patriots for plugging a hole that everybody agrees they needed to plug heading into this draft.
Yeah, Bill saw who he wanted. He focused in on him, much like I do. I get a little enamored with some people, and like I did have Cole Strange coming to the Patriots. I had him there in the fourth round. Not there's moving up and down the boards, but no, I'm gonna give this a C plus.
Okay,
just because of what was left on the board, what he traded down for, brought it up from a C to a C plus. I'm going to be really honest there. And I look forward to seeing Cole here for 10 years.
Yeah, I think we look forward to seeing him here for a while too. And, getting a chance to get to see him in the environment in Foxborough when he was introduced on Friday was a true treat for the media because I really think you're seeing a Patriot future favorite in terms of the fan base. This is a guy you can get behind. He's polished. He's definitely got a little bit of that edge to him when he plays. So I think fans are going to like him, but be patient with the pick, folks. We'll see what ends up happening. But ultimately, it's return on investment, and that's going to be the ultimate decider of what Cole Strange means to the New England Patriots in the future. Murph, the Pats weren't done with surprises just yet. And day two, and Steve and I talked about this a little on Saturday, definitely satisfied a need for speed, but did they really satisfy the full requirement of what they were looking for at the wide receiver position? Also, did they get enough size and strength out of the corner that they picked in order to make this a rebound day for the New England Patriots? Murph and I discuss day two and give you our grades in just a moment here on Locked On Patriots. But first, remember that our friends at BetOnline.net are your number one source for all of your sports betting needs and sports information needs. Find all of the latest developments, league reviews, and news on betonline.net. They are your continued source for all of your sports wagering information, from live betting to playoff action, NBA and NHL right now in the thick of playoff action, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Locked On Patriots fans, I just want to talk to you a little bit about business environments lately, because in this competitive business environment, could you afford to have a portion of your workforce just sitting around doing nothing? Well, why should your building be doing anything different? Catalyst Power would like to lease that empty rooftop from you to build a large solar array. Generate a brand new revenue stream without lifting a finger or being responsible for the installation or upkeep of the array. You can do something great for the environment, great for your marketing, and great for your bottom line, all at the same time. Catalyst Power will own, install, and operate the solar array at no cost to you. While your building won't receive the electricity generated by the array, it couldn't be generated without you. This is the simplest way to achieve an environmental, social, or governance goal, all while getting paid. Eligible rooftops in Massachusetts and Connecticut are over 50,000 square feet of usable space and are relatively new, or with a scheduled repair or replacement timeline. You can earn up to $1 per square foot per year in your lease payments. Go to catalystpower.com/LockedOnPatriots to learn more. Patriots fans, once again, we are musing the ultimate muse, which is the 2022 Patriots Draft Hall. I am with my good friend, the Don of Locked On Patriots here, Thomas Murphy, who joins me each and every Monday here on hashtag Locked On Murph Monday. Murph, we talked a little bit about Cole Strange and the New England Patriots selection on day one of the draft. You graded him a C+. I graded him a B. But ultimately, I think the jury is going to be out on this pick until they hit the field. We start to see what Cole can do. Did the Patriots leave too much on the table? And did they really make a bad move by not bringing in some dynamic talent alongside what they could have had probably in Strange in subsequent rounds? But day two on Friday night was another interesting night. The New England Patriots clearly were not done with their surprises, folks. They came into this with two clear positions of need in addition to the one they filled on day one, which was offensive guard. Cornerback, wide receiver. They went with wide receiver first in their first pick, number 50 in the second round. Murph, the New England Patriots looked at this, I think, from a perspective of a need for speed. We heard Matt Gross say this after he had finished up day two of the draft on Friday evening, very, very early Saturday morning, to be honest with you. And he mentioned that if you want speed, you can't do much better than Tyquan Thornton of the Baylor Bears, which was the New England Patriots draft choice. You want to talk about speed? This kid's got it. No question about it. 4.28 in the 40. The ability to run past any defender in his path. This kid clearly is a downfield threat. That's why they got him. They're giving Mac that speedy weapon that all the fan base has been clamoring for. But some of the fan base is going to be patient with this kid. There are others that are not so convinced that the Patriots got it right. When you look at the Patriots' need for speed and their need at the wide receiver position, considering John Mechie was already off the board, did the Patriots get it right?
I honestly think that was the target. But the Pats just missed on them by a few draft picks, 6 to be exact. I can see Bill channeling his inner Al Davis here. I really can. You want a fast wide receiver? Who do you channel? Al Davis. This kid is speed personified. It is track speed. It really is. It is not football speed, people. This is track speed type of an individual that Bill has brought in here. But once again, is he better than anybody that's already on the roster? And I don't believe so. I really don't. Not after the trade with Miami, a little bit. Somebody who would have been better than everybody on the roster, which gives me great pause, is the fact that Pittsburgh, 2 picks later, picked up George Pickens out of Georgia. That's really that's going to sit in my jaw, craw, however you want to call it, for years to come. This kid is somebody that I thought before his injury was one of the best wide receivers in this draft. Yes, there are some off-field issues that you would have to deal with, but the Patriots certainly didn't seem to have a problem with off-field issues later in the draft. I hope this kid comes in here and does really well. It's just that I hope he doesn't get blown over by a strong breeze.
Yeah, the question mark on Thornton right now is clearly not his speed. There's no question about it. This kid can fly. He can get open, and ultimately, that may be all the Patriots need him to do. And if that's the case, and he can beat his defender, not have to worry about it, then maybe they do have a solid pick here. The one thing that a lot of people have criticized is his physical makeup.
Right.
Most notably, not the biggest hands in the world for a receiver, small at the wrists. Some have mentioned that maybe that
teeny,
might be
tiny
mitigated.
little wrists. Oh my God, teeny
And
tiny.
well, some would argue, and some have said that this would be mitigated a little bit by the fact that he catches the ball away from his body rather than
Right.
cradling it in. You don't necessarily need the biggest hands in the world to be able to do that. He might still be able to be an effective receiver at that level by doing so. But
Yep.
I agree with you. There definitely are question marks when it comes to that. Is he going to be able to withstand the rigors of pro level hit as opposed to college? That's a
Right.
big difference, folks. I mean, a
And
lot of
what-
people trivialize it, but it is
And what
a
this
difference.
kid can do against man really has
Yeah.
me wondering and scratching certain portions of my anatomy that I won't be shown on television. Yeah, I'm sitting on it. It's I took great pause with what was again still left on the, but Bill saw the guy that he wanted, and once again he didn't want to take a chance on waiting. A lot of people had a third or a fourth round grade on this guy. Bill decided to grab him in 2 when he did. I do think that Mechie was the target. Unfortunately, he didn't drop to them, and Bill didn't see a real need with another guy that he really liked on the board being able to go. But there was a run right after him of wide receivers. Pickens, Alec Pierce went, and Sky Moore, who a lot of us thought was a really good fit here to come into the slot and be able to do stuff. But you mentioned he's a guy that catches the ball away from his body. He is faster than lightning, and he gets the yak that you really need in this Patriot system. So yeah, we'll get to the grades in a minute for the whole round, but it was a surprising pick. But the more I watch of him, the easier it is to swallow.
Yeah, without question. When you look at film on this kid and you look at tape and you look at the ability of him to glide past his defenders, and Steve and I talked about this a little bit on Saturday. I got a text message from a friend of mine that said, "Oh, he looks like a young Moss out there," and I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute! Let's not get ahead of ourselves here."
Right.
But at the same time, he does have that glide, that long stride that Randy, I think, was ultimately the greatest I've ever seen when it came to that. I mean, he looked like a gazelle out there.
But please do not think this kid's gonna be running past the second incarnation of Revis with his hand out in the air and just plucking it. Let's not put that kind of pressure on this young man.
It's not fair to Taekwon. It really is. And I think he'd be the first to admit it. Please don't compare me with Randy Moss, arguably the greatest receiver of all time. Both he and Jerry Rice 1 and 1A there. I mean, but you look at what this, pick means for the Patriots. It does mean that you're not going to get the same chirp every single game, every single year. Patriots don't have anybody that can beat anybody. They can't, they don't have the guy that takes the top off the defense. This kid can take the top off of a defense. Let's see if he can do it consistently.
I am really looking forward to seeing what this running attack is going to be able to do with this guy on one side and Nelson Aguilar on the other, dragging people back and out of the way. It's going to be something special. It could be something special. Let me put it that way.
It truly is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So far, so good, Murph. I think we're rolling right along here. But the Patriots were not done on day 2 because in the third round, the New England Patriots were going to go out and address the cornerback position. And they did that with a player that we talked about here on Locked On Patriots a couple of times. I had actually mocked him to New England in a previous mock draft that I had done. Had him going in the 4th, not the 3rd, but we'll see what ends up happening. And that is Marcus Jones out of the University of Houston. Marcus is definitely not the biggest corner in the world. That size deficiency may have caused him to drop a little bit, but his production on the field, I think, would have made him much higher if he was more of that prototypical physical corner that most teams wanted, out of him. Definitely an adept player that can really, I think, play some slot corner. He can probably take some of the pressure off of Jonathan Jones. He's very good with a great athleticism, this kid, very good in open field tackles. He ranked 2nd nationally in interceptions this year. Passes defense, another guy that can definitely get the job done. But where this kid I think is going to shine is obviously as a returner. He
Right.
has elite return skills. A lot of accolades this year, whether it be first team All-American Athletic Conference as a return specialist, that designation, leading the league in of his ability to be able to do it.
Yep.
Rattled off a 100-yard return with
Right.
17 seconds left against SMU, the 19th ranked team in the nation. So there's a lot to like with this kid, but ultimately, Murph, I yield to your wisdom and counsel on this. Did the Patriots get it right in terms of their need at corner, or was this purely special teams?
No, I think he's going to be able to come in and compete at corner, especially in the slot. I think he's going to do fine there. He's going to be able to fit in where he needs to and not have to be the man coming out of the gate. But no, this is a special teams move, and this is really a special individual when it comes to he was the Thorpe Award winner, wasn't he? He was the Thorpe Award winner as the most versatile player in college football.
Yep.
And that just speaks to everything that Bill loves. I like this pick. I gave this pick a B.
Yeah, I give him a B as well, and we'll get into our overall grade, on the round in just a moment. But yeah, I definitely give this one a pick, either a B or maybe even a B plus rising for the special teams prowess that he's able to provide. I really like this kid, and I liked him from the beginning. And the only thing, obviously, that was deterring me from saying, yeah, prototypical type of Patriot guy was the size. But you know what? For what he's going to be called in here to be able to do, I think he's going to fit in just well, and he's very coachable. Talked to a couple of scouts close to the Houston program that said that this kid will take direction well. He's not going to come in here and act like he wants to reinvent the wheel for the Patriots defensive backfield. He understands that Bill Belichick has forgotten more football than he'll probably learn throughout the course of his career. He'll take to it very well, and hopefully it will mean good things on the field.
While remaining with that swagger. He has that swagger on the field, which I really like. But it doesn't carry over to the sidelines. It does not carry over to the practice field. That was a great point, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, bottom line, the New England Patriots went with their guys. I don't think they worried too much about who was on Kuiper and McShay's big board. They didn't really worry about what Peter King was going to say in Monday morning. They were worried about what their guys were and targeting the players they felt were the good fits for them in this draft. And like it or not, that's what the New England Patriots did. So we'll continue to break that down. But Murph and I are not done yet, folks, because a day 3 haul brought some surprises, including one at the quarterback position. Yeah, that's right, folks. Not cornerback, quarterback. Murph and I are going to talk about all of that in just a moment. But first, Team Butchie's favorite segment here on Locked On Patriots. I get to tell you about the products that are put out by our good friends over at Built Bar. And Murph, covering the NFL draft is a labor of love. It's hard work. You're up late. You're doing conference call analysis. You're doing on-field analysis. You're scrambling to find information on players that you may have never heard of before. You need energy to do it. And the good thing about it is that our good friends at Built.com provide the perfect product to not only give you that energy, but also satisfy your craving for a delicious treat. Built now has granola bars out, folks, and I encourage you to go over to Built.com and check those out. Great flavors like chocolate peanut butter, Murph, chocolate coconut, also white chocolate berry. Sounds amazing. Really, folks, no matter what Built does, they always put out a delicious product because they focus on the taste first, and then they go out and they make it good for you. I don't know how they do it. Murph doesn't know how they do it. No. They just do it, and they do it better than anybody. And all of the great Built Bar products are delicious, but not only that, they offer you so much more protein, so much less sugar. It really is a miracle product, and I can't say enough good things about the folks over at Built Bar. So, folks, don't delay. Do it today. Head to Built.com right now and enter the promo code LOCK15 to save 15% off your next order. That's promo code LOCK15 at Built.com. Murph, we are back here with our great fans for Locked On Patriots. Thank you once again, Patriots fans, for making Locked On Patriots your first listen each and every day, and for continuing to make Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. My friend, what can I say? We are arriving at the ultimately last day of the draft. We already graded days 1 and 2. The Patriots came into the day with 7 picks on their docket. They made all 7. Murph, I
Yep.
said that there was almost a slim to none chance that the Patriots would do that.
Right.
Considering the amount of roster spots they had open, I probably should have given better odds, but I still think it was a surprise that the Patriots did make all of these picks. Really, I think just an interesting haul for the New England Patriots when you take a look at it. Were you surprised, first off, before we start grading the individual picks and what your thoughts were you surprised at all by the fact that the Patriots did make all 7 of these picks on
Yeah.
Saturday?
Yeah, I was. I thought that Bill would use, but I thought he would attack the draft completely differently. I thought that he would go along with what he did last year when in the first and second round you got players of immediate help, immediate impact, and I'm not seeing that out of this draft. But what he did was fill the basket with a lot of different eggs instead of the 2 or 3 best eggs in the carton, and we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, absolutely. And they went back-to-back corner to open up. 4th round, first pick.
Yep.
No trades for the New England Patriots on Saturday. They had their docket, and they just went down and sliced through the draft and had, I
Yep.
guess, the guys that they had on their radar all along. Arizona State cornerback Jack Jones was the first player chosen on day 3, number 121 in the 4th round. They had Jack in for a top 30 visit. They met with him a couple of times, so clearly there was a lot of interest in his position. He comes with his off-field issues. You mentioned
Yep.
that earlier. There's no question about it. But a tremendous upside in terms of being able to lend, I think, maybe a little attitude, maybe a little pop to that cornerback position. This kid can play on the outside. He can play in the slot. Your thoughts on Jack Jones coming in the 4th round here?
He's been described as one of the best athletes to ever grace the turf at USC. Yeah, he's. I'm going to get away from the off field issues. I mean, we've all been there and wanted Panda Express really bad, and so I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that slide. This is a great pick. This is a fantastic pick. He's a ball hawking cornerback with the instincts of a playmaker that we all thought Bill should go after in the first round. He is here because of who he is. Let's see what happens now that he's a Patriots. The only thing that gives me hesitation at this is how aggressive this kid is, and he has given up a lot of touchdowns at the college level. Hopefully, that won't be the case going forward.
Yeah, he definitely has a little bit of raw talent that needs to be cultivated, but I agree with you on the athleticism. I think that's what drew the New England Patriots to him. Again, they met with him 3 times, so they had to see something there that they either wanted to vet him a little bit more, considering the off-field issues. I don't think you can blame the Patriots for doing their due diligence there. But again, like you said, this is an opportunity now for him to show what he can do. We had the opportunity to talk to Jack on Saturday afternoon via conference call, and he addressed it. He addressed it head on and said, I'm trying to put it behind me. I'm not trying to live in the past, but he didn't make excuses for himself and basically said that at this point, he understands what he did, and now it's his opportunity to get on the field and prove why he can be a valuable pro. And the New England Patriots probably are giving him the platform to do it because they do see what you described in that athleticism, his ability to be that ball hawking corner that maybe they need. This is the 3rd corner now that has the last name Jones. The guy that sews the equipment manager is going to have to keep all these it may be J.A. and maybe J.O. because you got
J.O. G.
He's going to have, it's going to be J.A. and J.O. because don't forget Jonathan Jones already.
Right.
And then you got Marcus. You can't even do M.A.C. You have to do M.A.R. and then M.A.C. Mac may have to put his full name on the back of that jersey, although I know people are going to want him to put McCorkle. He's not going to do that, folks. This is going to be interesting. There's going to be keeping up with the Joneses here for the New England Patriots coming up in 2022. That may be a theme if all of these guys are rostered. The next pick that the Patriots made in the 4th round really, I think has my potential to be the favorite pick in this day, and that is Pierre Strong coming over
Right.
at the running back position.
Oh my God.
Again, the Patriots going for speed here. I mean,
Yep.
this kid is a
Speed
blazer.
kills. Oh my
He
God.
can. I mean, this kid can really break the field. If he breaks the tackle, he's off to the races. The New England Patriots getting a good one as far as I'm concerned. Humble, very, very contrite, and loves his ability to play here in New England. I like this pick a lot. Your thoughts on Pierre Strong, bud?
Pierre Strong has 8 touchdowns of over 50 yards.
Mm.
Okay, 8. This kid, I love this pick. I just adore this pick. This is fantastic. It immediately strengthens a running back room that has been hurt with the loss of one Brandon Bolden. All the best. Got to get in. Got to get in once a show.
Absolutely. It
Um,
is very
and
difficult.
people were asking me why a running back, Murph. Why a running? Well, we have running backs that are coming up on contract years, 2 of them. This kid slots in really well. He also catches the ball quite well. He wasn't asked to do it a lot, but he can do it. And no, 8 touchdowns of over 50 yards. This is a guy, if he gets past the second level, is gone. Is absolutely gone. If he's redshirted, I will scream.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, I don't see the red shirt being put on Pierre
No,
Strong. I think this kid is coming in to contribute, and I think he's coming in to contribute right away because as much as I love Damian Harris and what he brings to the table, he'll continue to be your feature back. No
no,
question about it, folks. Love Ramondre Stevenson. He always looks fantastic, as we like to say. Can't
right.
wait to start saying that again, Murph, when the games begin. This kid brings that level, that new gear that the Patriots have not had in that running back room. I think this is really something special, and this kid has the opportunity, I think, to be a good fit here in New England. So good value, I think, in the 4th round, and we'll see. Again, raw talent. Nobody's saying that he's going to come in and immediately be the savior of this running back room, but this is already a very strong group. This is
Right.
already a very deep group, so he doesn't have to be the savior right away. He doesn't have to be the guy that comes in that's that number one clear-cut running back. I really like this kid, and I like the value here.
That's it.
To round out the 4th round, Murph, at number 137, this was the one that raised the eyebrow of everyone. And I don't say everyone just in Patriots Nation. I mean everyone throughout the country. I mean, there were some NFL scouts that were really perplexed and really surprised by this. But
Yep.
bottom line, Patriots went with value, and it's hard not to like what the player can do on the field. Your
Yeah.
thoughts on Bailey Zappi of Western Kentucky being your new potential backup quarterback to Mac Jones?
Yeah, who doesn't love a little zap in their backfield? But it was a surprising pick. It is not the way I wanted to go right here. This is somebody again that I feel could have been gotten later. There were quarterbacks that were taken after him that had much better grades than he did. I like the kid. I like his game. I think it will fit in here. But Zach Tom was there. Zach Tom was there. And I really, really liked his game. I really like what he brings to the field. And I think it would have, once again, given more depth to one of the thinner positions at this time. Michael McFadden was there. He could have addressed the linebacker position, which they didn't do at all in this draft. Khalil Shakur, but, we've already gone through wide receivers here. I don't really understand this except for the fact that, Bill likes to draft quarterbacks, and but don't think for a minute, people. Don't go out there and hang your Mac Jones jersey up in the closet yet to forget about it, because that's not what this was about. This kid is a smart individual who can come in here and run the scout team for years. We may be looking at the Patriots Don Strong.
Yeah, I mean, look, bottom line, folks, colleagues of mine in the media are going to talk this pickup like it is a signal of Bill Belichick not being happy with Mac, or that he is going to somehow come in and push Mac in a quarterback competition this season. Look, bottom line, people in our line of work, Murph, love to stir the pot.
Right.
And what stirs the pot better than a good old-fashioned quarterback controversy heading into training camp? Folks, I'm not going to subscribe to that because that is not why the
No.
Patriots did this.
The only
Yeah,
controversy here is how long it's going to take Spiral Studham to get cut.
yeah, I think that's it. I think
That's
maybe
it.
Jarrett. I think the Patriots would like to do him a solid. Jarrett's a solid kid, and I think
Yep.
that he's played his position well. He's been a good soldier. If they
But
can
he
find a
hasn't been
way to maybe
available.
move him, exactly. And if they can find a way to move him, I think they'll definitely try to. If not, he has played his final down. I think I'm fairly confident in saying that. That's
When
not.
was the last time he played his final down? Do we remember?
Uh, yeah, you know what? I think my memory's not so good lately, Murph. So
That's what I'm saying.
I shouldn't say that, but no. In all actuality, folks, Bailey coming in here will help to push Mac a little bit, and I think that type of competition is definitely good for any quarterback. But
Yep.
if anybody is thinking he's coming in to supplant Mac Jones from day one, that is not going to happen. Mac has a new arsenal. He's got a few new weapons on offense. They're expecting big things out of Nelson Aguilar and Jonnu Smith to make that big jump. Way too early to make that claim. And I don't think ultimately Bailey is going to overtake Mac at any point. I think Mac is their guy for the immediate and long-term future. But bottom line, this kid does fit that mold well. And maybe at the end of the day, that's exactly what the Patriots are looking for. Brian Hoyer, 36 years old, not going to play forever. We're not, sure of his status for this year. That's assuming that Brian makes the team.
Yep.
I think he will because of his ability to coach Mac and be that mentor. But you look at it, and he's more of the Mac Jones mold than Jarrett Stidham is. He's got that quick release, accurate in that short to intermediate areas of the field. This is, I think, what these guys needed in terms of that. And he wins. He does a great job of recognizing pressure. I'm curious to see what he looks like on the field. But, folks, no, there's no controversy bubbling out of Foxborough. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news for a lot of my colleagues, but I just don't see it happening. So, you know what? People are going to write what they want. People are going to say what they want. But ultimately, that's my take on the move. I like Bailey Zapp. I'm not sure if I would have used the fourth round capital to bring in a quarterback at this point, but bottom line, the Patriots did it, and I think he has a chance to be a very good backup in this league. So at the very least, the Patriots strengthened their quarterback room, and you can never argue with that. In this league, if you lose a quarterback, your season can be done in the blink of an eye. Maybe Bailey Zapp is someone that they feel can be a better fit for New England rather than Jarrett Stidham if something should happen to Mac Jones.
Something happened. Pardon me. Somebody has to run the scout team, and other guys just, they're not available enough, and the other guy's getting old.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mean in the interest of time to lessen any of the impact with the four remaining players on our board, but the sixth and the seventh rounders, I thought a couple of interesting names here. The Patriots go back to the running back well. They're stockpiling Joneses. Well, they got a couple of Harrises on the board now as well. Kevin Harris coming over with the 183rd pick in the sixth round. Defensive tackle Sam Roberts, who I think is the happiest guy in the world to be a New England Patriot. The team he grew up idolizing, coming from a small Division II school. A lot of upside with this kid. I was very impressed talking to him afterwards. Gotta love that. Chasen Hines coming in on the offensive line from LSU, number 210. This kid, I think, could be a late round asset to New England. I'm not going to call him a steal or a diamond in the rough just yet, but I think he can be a little bit better on that O-line than people are giving him credit for. And then Andrew Stuber coming in as the lone seventh rounder at number 245 from Michigan, Murph. We love our Michigan guys here.
Go Blue.
Your thoughts on the Patriots' sixth and seventh round draft hauls? Do they have any potential diamonds in the rough here?
Yeah, I do. I really like. If I give day one a C, I've got to give this day an A. I love Hines out of LSU. Stuber is, I think, going to be a surprise to a lot of people here. I don't think he is going. He could end up being a red shirt for the year, but he's somebody that I believe has a future. And of course, Harris. You like a guy that can pick up a blitz. This guy can pick up a blitz. He picks up a blitz like few other people that I've seen come out of college in years. This was a great day three, an A grade on day three.
Yeah, I gave an A grade on this day as well. And look, I know a lot of our colleagues, Murph, we're taking a look at a lot of what they're doing here and giving this, giving day two, I think, a lot of credit. I think because people love the potential of Thornton and the fit of Jones in this system, Marcus Jones meaning you got to really be careful when you say Jones now. You really have to be
Yeah.
specific. You have to use the first names with Joneses now here in New England. But I like the value of Pierre Strong. I really love this pick. I like Sam Roberts. I'm really curious to see how he comes in and the energy he comes in with. I know Division II, and I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, well, he was doing it against lesser talent." But you know what? Bottom line, a scout that I
He
talked to over the
dominated.
weekend. Absolutely. And the scout that I talked to over the weekend that writes for Sports Illustrated here, one of my colleagues on the condition of anonymity, basically said that, you know what, I don't really care where this kid played. If you can play, teams are going to find you. The smart teams are going to find you. And he says, then there's no smarter team out there at picking these guys than the New England Patriots. If they spent a pick on this kid, they knew they had to have him and they wanted his services.
Right.
So should speak to something. And I agree with you on the O-lineman. I think two good O-linemen that really kind of round this out. One of those guys is probably going to be a red shirter because of the amount of talent they have, or I should say the amount of players they have on the roster overall. But I think that they've got two keepers there, and I would love to see both of those guys stick around. I would hate to see either one have to be a roster casualty. Murph, the 2022 NFL Draft is in the books, and folks, we cannot thank you enough for all of the support, all of the great feedback and interaction that we've had with all of you throughout draft season here, especially those of you who took time out of your busy schedules, your days and weeks to send in mock drafts each and every Monday. We appreciate you, and we're going to continue to bring you all the great coverage that you like, maybe even take a very, very early preview pretty soon at what the 2023 draft may look like here on Mondays with Murph. But we're going to start turning our attention to the season and positional groupings. We're going to be talking about it all, but this will remain hashtag Locked On Murph Monday. And I, for one, cannot thank my good friend enough for joining me here each and every week. Murph, before I let you go, please let everyone know where they can find you, your great work, and what we can expect from the great pen, the great voice of Thomas Murphy in the coming days and weeks.
Well, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at TMurph207. All of my writing is, of course, as Mike said, over there at e2g.com. God. I have a new Red Sox piece out this morning as they come limping home from Baltimore. So please check that out. And tomorrow, Claire, Steve, and I will have the one and only Evan Lazar stopping in on One Patriots Place. Tune in. You don't want to miss that, where we go over the entirety of the Patriots draft because we have no time limits.
Absolutely. There are no days off. The draft may be over, but our coverage is just beginning. We're going to continue to break it all down here, folks. And now we're going to start assimilating these new Patriots into the Patriot way. And that may be a topic of discussion more than once here on Locked On Patriots as we head toward minicamp, training camp, and eventually the 2022 season. Folks, we always appreciate you staying locked into Locked On Patriots, so please smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Download, subscribe to, and follow Locked On Patriots on all platforms. We're free and available, and we look forward to talking to Murph again here next Monday on hashtag Locked On Murph Monday, but we will be back here tomorrow to break down all of the latest news, notes, and analysis from Foxborough on your six-time Super Bowl champions. On behalf of the Don of Locked On Patriots, my good friend Thomas Murphy, I'm Mike Debate. Stay safe, stay well, be the change you wish to see in the world, folks. Have a great day, everyone.